Hi everybody, my name is Julie Sebi. I write the Analytics Corner blog that focuses on data engineering, analytics, and visualization with Alteryx and Spotfire. You can find the written version of this post on my website shown on the screen. If you find today's content useful, please copy the link and share it in your Twitter or LinkedIn feeds. This week, I'm going to talk about caching data in Alteryx. I love the data caching feature in the application. However, I learned this week I wasn't using it as efficiently as possible. I showed my team members this discovery and none of them were aware of it, which tells me that it's worth writing about. Now, it's always a bit rough learning a new application. It takes a while to learn the most efficient way of working. And when I first picked up Alteryx, I was just happy that I could cache data at all. And as a result, I was caching in a really efficient manner, which was simply clicking on individual tools while holding down the control key and then right-clicking and saying cache and run workflow. That was how I started out caching data. I eventually learned to do this a little bit more efficiently by simply aligning my input tools. So I can highlight them and right-click, align vertically, and now instead of holding down the control key, I can come in here and just swipe in one fell swoop and cache and run workflow. And that's what I've been doing for a really long time. But for whatever reason, I've never noticed that there's this cache data checkbox in the input tools. And so if I go through and click this checkbox for all of my inputs and then run the workflow, what that basically means is that as long as that box is checked, anytime I make a modification and run the workflow, the next time it runs, it's going to cache everything. Because there's a lot of times when you're working in Alteryx, you make an update and then you forget to do the right click and cache. So let's go ahead and run this. And now you'll see that it's finished. It has the little cache bubble. And if I go in, click continue, and I modify this, it'll drop the cache. But if I go off and play in my workflow, do other things, I don't have to remember to come back and right-click and cache. I really like this option in the input tool. It's super helpful. And before I wrap up, though, I did notice that it doesn't necessarily work with dynamic inputs. So within this dynamic input tool, you'll see that I have clicked this cache data checkbox. But if I run this workflow, now that it's finished running, you don't see the little cache bubble. But if I right-click and say cache and run workflow, then the bubble appears. I don't really understand this. I don't know why it doesn't work the same way. If you do know, please leave a comment in the comment section. And that wraps up this week's post. Thank you so much.